Welcome to Balls&Brews. Cheers, boys.
Welcome, you guys.
Cheers.
Hell yeah. 96. Shout out Cortez Kennedy. Rest in peace, bro.
That's good. I really like the color of this beer,
Oh, my God.
and I
that's
really love the
wonderful.
flavor of it.
I mean, Mother Earth again.
Yeah, always. Nampa, Idaho.
You get a little on the back
that
end.
one's
You get so much.
stamped in the noggin.
You get so much taste throughout that.
That is
beer.
a whole lot. It's like taking a bite.
I
of
still have
something.
taste in my mouth right now from the first drink.
That's good. That's not just leftover hop. Like, that's also the thing. Like,
You get those a lot of.
I get,
fruit notes.
yes, big time.
Yeah.
I get the
Fruits
argument.
is it supposed to be?
It doesn't even list them.
Doesn't even list them.
So figure it out.
I'm going to take a second drink and I'll give you a review.
Is this the third Project X series beer we've had from the?
Oh my
I think
God,
so.
that's very, very good. 7.2.
Who?
This is probably the best out of the ones we've had. This
Yeah,
is
this
fucking
is
delicious.
great.
Maybe it's recency bias, but this is really fucking good.
I can't really.
so smooth.
Honestly, I can't really. remember.
Who's who is the title of the beer. And
Honestly,
it's just
I can't
listed as a
remember the
hazy.
other
You good? Idaho Citra and Mosaic hops. And like Travis said before, the entire series of Project X is 7.2 just with different hops. So however they comboed this one is an absolute win.
And they're all hazies as well.
So good, dude. Who's who? Yeah, look that bad boy up. It'll be up on X and Instagram here pretty soon.
When you see the color, aren't you just like, this is going to be a good beer?
I traditionally can tell.
Like when it says hazy and looks like this, I'm like, yes.
I hate it when it looks like a West Coast. When they tell me it's a hazy
And it's
like,
just hella
It's like,
dark.
bitch,
You're
I
like,
know
come on,
exactly what this is about to be. Don't lie to me. Or if it's too light, it's like it's got to be this like it's got to be juicy. It's got to be like unpasteurized. I don't want to see through it.
Yeah, we
Well-
definitely ain't seeing through this motherfucker.
This is really good as always, Mother Earth. So thank you so much for blessing us with delicious beer.
Yes.
I had actually two good brewskis on my trip. I'll talk about the game in a little bit at another spot in the pod. But I went to Drake's. It's a place down by the river. Cool spot, like a really cool spot. We didn't know you had to make reservations. It was pretty busy. We got in pretty quick. We only waited like 15, 20.
Not bad.
Got in, had a pizza. The pizza was good. Their bar setup was sick. They had a ton of fucking beers. I ended up going with an amber and a dry nitro stout, like a Guinness. I can't help it.
No, don't apologize.
So I crushed those two, both really good. Angelique went with two hoppy ass beers, and they were hoppy.
Yeah, Drake's very much known for their hops.
Two different ones too, I'm pretty sure. She said she thought because she just tells them, can I get the hoppiest beer? And then I have to interject and be like, nope, she's not gonna like that one. Nope, she's not gonna like that. Because they'll be
So
like
you start
throwing
with that, and
yeah,
then,
because she's not gonna drink a hazy. She wants, she wants
I know
a
West Coast.
revision.
She's a West Coaster.
She wants revisions.
She wants a
the
straight up West Coast IPA. She wants a West Coast
Lagunitas
IPA.
IPA. Those are like the two.
But she's not doing double or triple.
She gets herself involved in some of those doubles sometimes
okay.
because they don't tell her it's gonna be a double.
She gets herself involved.
And then she's
That's
like,
great.
"Ooh," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's a double." That's
That's hitting you. 8%, 8.2.
yeah. I think other than that, I think those are the only two new brewskis I've had. Had some Guinness the other night. That's about it.
Nice. I went down to Sacramento as well. Same weekend, just a day before. Stopped by Urban Roots. Made
There we go.
that happen. Yeah. Fucking cool layout, you guys. I can understand. I think I came to the conclusion why it's called Urban Roots is because it's literally just in like a neighborhood. Like you're just cruising the block and then all of a sudden it just pulls up on this corner. It's just like, oh, okay, cool brewery. Like pull over. And food, I can't be, I'm going to be critical of it. It was good, not great. It was just like
What'd
kind
you
of,
eat?
I had like their brisket sandwich.
Ooh, brisket.
But it was more of like a chopped brisket with like some horseradish, so it was mimicked more of like a steak sandwich, as it were, and it was very good. But what was underwhelming, you guys, and this broke my heart because I splurged for it, was the pork belly burnt ends. Right? Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing.
I love
They
pork
can
belly.
be, man.
It wasn't rendered enough. It wasn't rendered enough. The fat didn't have that, like, you're looking for. It just. They tried to make up with it with the sauce, the glaze. Now that was good, but it wasn't cooked the way that I.
How'd you feel the menu? Because I feel like some breweries get too fancy with their food.
No, they were a butcher. It was literally a smokehouse as well. So
nice.
like it stayed straightforward with the sausage, the brisket, the chicken, and the
beer.
Yeah, the beer.
Don't you guys agree though? Sometimes some of these breweries get a little too fancy.
Well,
with the
they
food
have to.
output.
I feel like sometimes they want to compensate for the idea that they want to be different. Everybody makes beer. Our food is different, right? Like, you know, or I'd say speak with your beer personally, but I've gone down menus where you're like, what goat cheese at a
like sometimes you try to get too.
I like goat cheese.
Sometimes you try to get too fancy. I feel like instead of sticking with like just like not necessarily like pub food, but like easy food. I guess like sometimes you get too crazy with the menus. Like instead of just being like. Pulled pork sandwich.
I could be
hamburger.
wrong, but that just seems like more of a hipster kind of bar.
Yes,
kinda.
Fair.
But a lot of them.
So the beer I did have,
bit.
the beer I did have was called Altered States, and it was a barrel aged heavy.
Of course he did.
Oh, it was delicious. They only gave me 5 ounces. That's all they would pour. But that was super good.
That's all you needed.
It was a thick boy. And then I wanted that to offset my barbecue, and I knew I wasn't going to drink like a whole lot, so I just wanted to get, you know, the heavy shit. And then also a hazy. That was pretty good. It was we've had some of the other ones, and then that was one that I hadn't had, and Travis ended up ordering, and I had a little bit of that too. But it would be dope to go down there collectively, you guys, and just chill, get like a big ass barbecue platter, drink beers, and just like the patio was dope. The layout of the bar and everything was sick as shit. Like I would revisit it for sure. So shout out to Urban Roots. Once again, like I said, I think the name is just because it's in a neighborhood.
Timon, any new brewskis? Or
Actually,
food that you want to talk about?
Not really. I've been cooking up some cocktails. I had a
We love
margarita. I had an old fashioned I made myself.
Okay.
The other couple
Big
last
boy
couple
out
days.
there.
Today after the pod, I'll be going to Von Bismarck, so I'll get some brews there.
Nice.
But yeah, that's about it for me.
Well, before we get into the sport talk, I have a bone to pick with somebody sitting at the table.
What?
Yeah. So
Left field. This is live. Here we go.
this is live.
What do we got?
I wasn't going to tell you because I didn't want to. So I picked the Lakers to like win it, and somebody else picked the Warriors to win it.
No, nobody picked the Warriors.
Or who would you pick?
He had them going to
Oh
the
yeah.
final.
Okay. So you had the Warriors going far. It's not even his team. So Warriors win their game 1 series. I get a voice text message from Charlie
Sure do.
with Warriors.
Yeah.
It's not even his team. It wasn't like Trev sent it.
He doesn't have a basketball team.
I know. So that even is one thing. You know what's the other thing, Trev?
What's that?
2 weeks
I
ago,
hate voice messages.
3 weeks ago, you said, hey, Charlie finished last. He should have to wear a hat in the March Madness thing. And I said, we didn't really make the bet, so I stood up for Charlie on that one. Not happening again. Not happening again. Not happening again, Trev.
Wait,
Next time.
I wore a hat for
No,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
for the.
No,
we didn't make the March Madness bet.
hat bet, right?
Yeah.
Not correct. But it wasn't standing up for me in particular. It was standing up for what was right at the time.
Not happening again. Not happening again.
See, justice can be swayed. That's not fair.
It's swayed. Charlie leaves a voice text message, ladies and gentlemen.
Warriors. Oh, yeah.
I don't do it when the Thunder win games.
Oh,
He just has to do it. So,
All right, well, we're going to talk about basketball later.
We are,
But
yeah.
I had
You had a little bone to pick. You're not okay with that?
To open up
You're
the
not
pod.
okay with that, mister? You still have the Lakers and you shout out the Thunder.
Well, since you brought that up, we should just go over it real quick.
I just was
No,
rubbing
we'll
it in
touch
your
it later.
face. I was just rubbing it
I
in
know.
your face.
Just rubbing my face. I'm
All
never
right.
standing up for Charlie again after that. I'm over here minding my own business. And I get some voice text
Mr.
message.
Butthurt.
So Trev,
Wow.
Trev,
No,
was
that was a
catching
direct hit. That was not a stray at all.
Yeah, he went straight for me on
Exactly.
for no
Pew.
reason. For no reason. For no reason. It wasn't even his team. Not even his fucking team, Trev.
I feel it's just the pain of not having a team.
There it is. There it is. Can
And
I
when your
just be
team
bitter?
fails, he's going to take shots.
Especially
I
'cause
get
the
it
Lakers.
for the Niners.
Especially 'cause
all
it
the
was-
time.
And if Trev would have left me the voice message, I'd be like, okay, fair game. I didn't pick him to win. But then the other person sitting at the table, the one that doesn't even have a team, calls out me on this Warriors thing.
That's fair. That's
So,
fair. All right. All right. Well, you can't win them all.
And then this leads me to my hat question.
Ooh. Okay. Follow up or sidebar.
So, winner of said bet gets to pick a hat they own for somebody on the pod to wear.
The loser.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be from their team.
I guess we never made that a
That's
stipulation.
true. That's true. No, we never did. It can be any hat.
You gonna buy an OKC hat just in case you win?
Perfect. That's what I needed to know.
Love that.
That's
Love
what
it.
I need to know. Trev, why don't you talk about Brock Purdy?
I think that's fair. I do. I do.
That's taking it next level.
I don't think we need to put a stipulation on it. It just has to be.
It's on now.
Good. So you have to go
on like
you have to
Donkey
go
Kong.
give New Era, $35 to $40, or you just gonna go buy a shit hat.
I will find the shittiest
Just go buy a
OKC
shit
hat.
Yeah.
And I am making sure I have
Love
it in the arsenal.
Yes, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Trev, why don't we hear about your friend Brock
I love
Purdy?
that camaraderie.
Friend and quarterback.
253.
Yeah.
253.
253.
Can we-
5 years.
Can you give us the numbers and everything, and then I want if you can, a non-fandom take of it, and then I want your fandom take of it, unless it's the same.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I could separate the two, but we'll just to go over it.
I just thought I'd ask. Just thought I'd ask.
Brock Purdy gets that 5-year, $265 million extension.
Congratulations, Charlie.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility, sir. So now you have to fucking win games on the back of that dude. Which,
yes, you
yeah,
do.
Yeah.
He
He
is
knows that.
now
He knows that.
Tied for 7th, averaging $53 million a year.
Not a bad day.
Yeah, really good. I
my
saw.
Lord.
Did you see the stat where he's making more like per week than he's made?
That's what I was just about
6
to bring
days.
up. I
Yeah.
saw that his paycheck per game is higher than his 4-year contract that he just played, or the 4 years that he
Something
just
like- yes.
played. So yeah, he definitely cashed in. I felt it was going to be around this area. So, and I think this is kind of market value. You look at the other quarterbacks on the list. Yes, of course, I'd rather have Joe Burrow or Josh Allen. But the rest of them, I mean, there's guys ahead of Purdy that I'm like, Purdy's accomplished more than Tua,
Yep.
Trevor,
Yep.
Jordan Love,
Yep.
Dak Prescott. Those guys are all ahead of him.
Yeah, I know 60 to Dak
makes
too,
their team suck.
and I absolutely love from a non-Seahawk standpoint. That's a great deal for San Francisco as far as I see it. It all depends on if it works, right? He's now going to have to be the dude.
Yeah. Again, because you're getting paid the money now.
Right.
Last season, that one looks so. I mean, it didn't look good regardless, but it looks even worse if he's getting paid that money.
And it's no, Christian came back. He said he's fully healthy. Trent's supposed to be back to being fully healthy. But if Christian or Trent go down again, does the season not look any different? And then you got to be able to win without those two.
Right.
So that is so.
Because
at some point, those two
off of a major injury,
and at
too.
some point, those two ain't gonna be there.
Yes, and I mean that's why I see a lot of people not taking the Niners this year to make the playoffs. They're thinking that it's going to be the regression. The team lost some in free agency. They didn't have a good year last year. Now you're paying Brock. All those things people are just looking at and saying, yeah, this could be the time that the Niners take a step back.
Kittle got a pay raise too.
Yep, Kittle just got a contract. The Niners are really counting on a lot of their younger players, like they haven't since Shanahan first got there, to really step up. If they can't do that, then it probably is going to be that year that a lot of those people are predicting.
That, and I think that's why the Robert Saleh hire is even bigger, because of the fact that the defense is so young and so unproven. There's only a couple dudes on that defense that are proven right now, so that's why it makes that hire even more amplified, because if he can't get it done, it's saying what's that say about the players on that defense? The Robert Saleh is a damn good defensive coach. We saw it in New York and we saw it in San Francisco. So
agreed, and that's why I from the inside I have a different perspective. I see us having the best coaching staff since Shanahan's been there, and I'm excited about a lot of these young players. I mean, who isn't after the draft? And if these players hit, and I feel like with as heavy as we went on defense, Saul is picking his guys. So I feel comfortable with it. Offensive line is thin. If Trent goes down, that could be an issue. I mean, that would be an issue.
Even if you had depth, that's still an issue. Jesus, nobody wants to lose that guy.
He's our best offensive lineman.
How do you feel about your wide receiver position?
I'm not as low as everybody else is. I know. I'm sure Debo's going to have a good year because it's a contract year, and with playing out in Washington, I think he's going to have a good season this upcoming year. But Jennings played really well. We got a lot of hope. I mean, Slick Rick Peral, he was looking good towards the end of the season. Ayuk we're going to have to wait on, but we did get Robinson from the Rams.
He's in legal trouble right now.
Yes, he's going to be out the first couple weeks.
4 games? Is he a 4-game suspender or is he a 6?
I don't know if they've said yet, but it's going to probably be in that range.
Get that out of bitch.
Yeah. And I mean, we drafted 2 rookies last year. We didn't even really see our other rookie play. So I don't know. I still feel like it's workable. Like Purdy works for Shanahan. He may not have the biggest arm, but his pocket awareness is great. He uses his feet when he needs to. He stands in the pocket and takes hits and delivers.
Dude, he clearly is a good quarterback. He's won a lot of big games in the NFL already. Like, I mean, I don't know where you want to argue him, but upper half, bare minimum. Like,
well,
right?
We'll
get
into
sure,
that.
People are going to argue though.
We'll get in that in the next.
That's true.
Next week
We'll
or
get
two.
into the weeds, a little later for sure. We don't need to be ranking
But
positions.
the other
just yet.
thing that is positive for the Niners
is
that they have the weakest fucking schedule.
Yes.
Oh my God! Yeah,
That's the other thing
Taking
that I
us into our next.
feel like the Niners could be.
How did that
team
fucking
still.
happen? And okay, so here's my bone to pick. With the
Another
schedule.
one.
Here's
Second
my-
bone.
Second bone. With this, I think the
Two-bone
schedule,
segment.
the schedule release, to me, is one of the most overblown things that we get so hot about in sports talk radio. We already knew last year that the Niners schedule was going to be one of the easiest schedules in the league because we already knew everybody that they were playing. We know everybody you're playing. We just don't know the way it falls. Like, I do know it's kind of important. Like, one thing that makes interesting, I'll talk about a little bit of the Raiders. The Raiders' last 7 games are all indoors. So all of a sudden, boom, we don't have an outdoor game. That obviously is like projected if you're like a more
You're
faster
not angry
offense.
at that.
Favors your
Correct.
You're not
offense.
angry at that period.
But I already
as far
knew,
as the
you know what I'm
team.
saying? But I already knew who I was playing. I think that there's other things like we already knew the Niners were going to have the easiest schedule. We knew the Bills' schedule was going to be fairly easy for a
Dude, I was in
division
that.
for a division winner because of the just this conference they were matching up with.
Looking
right?
at the Bill schedule, I think they should be the favorite to win the AFC.
Well, my guy's running the helm, brother. Running the helm, I mean, but like, I just feel that the schedule release. Oh man, schedule release Wednesday. Woo, yeah, we're gonna have this whole thing. I think it's so fucking overblown.
Well, I do think it does have an impact on those who can travel, who can actually go and see games or whatever. It's kind of a big deal.
Yes, for fans.
If you need to buy, tickets.
But
and
we're having
whatnot,
like full on shows about this shit.
because also, dude,
NFL sells,
week
man.
1's juicy as fuck. Yeah, dude, it's a
I-
great fucking schedule, dude. Everybody comes out of the gates with a hitter, dude. There's no
they
boring
don't.
game.
No, they
List
don't.
me a boring game in
Eagles
week 1.
versus Cowboys.
Is it a boring game?
Eagles are gonna smoke
Is it
the
a
boys.
boring game?
The Cowboys are gonna be fucking awful this year.
I don't think they're going to be as bad
Dude,
as
that's
they were last year.
interdivision hate
And it's
right
a
out of the
rivalry.
gates. Yeah, come on, bro.
Oh,
It's a
Like,
rivalry game.
I'm not saying
How are we putting the Cowboys that had some
I'm not putting the
shitty-ass
Cowboys.
team
I'm
on
not
the
saying they're
very
going to
first
win the game. I'm not going to say they're going to win the game. I'm saying it's an intriguing story. It will pull eyes and
Cowboys still got
are as
more
healthy as they're
primetime
going to be.
teams than they
It's
deserve.
I know the Cowboys still
that
suck.
for sure. I don't disagree with that.
The Cowboys are not
They-
going to be good this year.
They're not. They're not. I'm not going to be
Eagles
fooled
are
by
gonna-
when we release the our win losses
Schedules.
going into the season and everything, which will be a while down the road. We got a ways for that. But
They're easily third, if not fourth.
unless they make bigger splashes somehow within the next couple of weeks,
They
which I
have
don't really
no
see.
real run game.
Yeah, they not a proven one.
They have 2 receivers that bitch. If Dak goes down, that team's fucked again. And
Oh,
Dak's gone
so
down
hard.
Dak's gonna be
So
able to
hard.
hold those 2 receivers, I think, accountable. But if he goes down, Done.
That
Right,
team
correct.
is toast
Yeah.
for sure.
And I know
Most
that
teams,
he's
though.
up really high on that, but Dak does a really good job at that.
Yeah.
Like, when Dak's in there,
Collecting money? Yeah, he does pretty good.
That too.
Yeah, he does pretty good at that.
So is Kirk Cousins.
Thank you, Jerry.
No, Dak really.
All timer.
I feel
Kirk
like-
Cousins he's the anti-shit lister.
Yeah.
If there's a guy you could aspire to be, it's pretty much Kirk Cousins. Yeah, like homeboy came in as a 3rd round pick.
He
Anyway,
had Hellick. No, but I'm just saying, like, Dak does a good job of kind of like being the glue for that team. So when he's hurt,
well, he has to be. That's the quarterback traditionally is, right? You want your quarterback to be
I wouldn't
that.
pay him
Like,
$60 million. But
No,
I still
no.
think he's elite at keeping the Cowboys afloat. When he goes down, they are fucking toast.
Agreed.
Another team that got way too many fucking primetime games and the motherfucking Dolphins. What are we doing with the Dolphins on TV? The Dolphins and
I saw
Cowboys
that too.
Nobody wants to see the Dolphins or Cowboys play.
It's all about if Tua can stay healthy. If he can, then that offense clicks and it's good TV. If he goes down, then exactly, because Quinn Ewers is going to be the guy.
Quinn
so
Ewers is
they're
going to
gonna-
give. Who gets more starts? Quinn Ewers or Shooter or Sanders?
I don't know, dude.
The
In
Browns are a
Cleveland,
mess.
what the fuck are they-
I can't wait till we get to like the talking of that stuff. We got to stay on the schedule stuff. But I just, another interesting fact: Eagles don't have back-to-back home games
At any point.
at any point in the season. Let me fact
I mean,
check
I
that.
understand.
I'm pretty sure that's one of my news things.
I don't have a
Eagles'
3.
schedule is nasty too.
I don't have a 3-gamer, whether it be away or home either. So
Okay,
I
yeah, here it
understand.
is.
We open the season, buddy.
We should
At
do.
no point
I know I was going to
during-
bring that up, but I was going to let him rip too.
At no point during the next season do Eagles play back-to-back home games. This makes Philadelphia the first ever defending Super Bowl champion not to play back-to-back home games the following regular season. It's an precedent to their title defense. That is insane. You have no time ever back your, other than like. and I don't know where their
bye week exactly. I was going to say it's the only thing that you could lean on potentially. But even still, yeah, that sucks that you don't even get like 2 weeks at home. One
Dude,
time,
that's
not
rough.
even one time. Yeah, that's pop back and forth.
And if you're what happens if you're away before your bye game? So then
Luckily though, within that, it depends on their schedule. There's so many football teams in that tri-state area. It depends on, like, they could not have a lot of travel really for that team. They could go, obviously if they fly to, but they're playing Vegas at home. I know the West Coast teams got to go to them. So the rest of their schedule, other than at Dallas, is probably right in that fucking thick of things.
Yeah, I'd have to pull it up, but I mean that still is crazy not having 2 weeks where you're like at home.
Sure.
In a row.
For 4 months.
Yeah,
For 4 months.
yeah. And then if your bye is after a fucking away game, you're like that's even crazier. Like,
If
at
you
least-
go away, then yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah.
Any other news that we like? Anything else sticks out to you guys?
Well, I mean, do we want to talk about holiday games,
They're
primetime
stacked
games?
again.
Do we want to talk?
Yeah,
about
they did a good job. You know what? I am a little.
They're
International
stealing
I got
the
another-
Christmas.
I got another bone to pick.
Hell yeah!
Pull
3
up.
bone segment. Here we go.
The NFL doesn't know. We talked about this last year. Doesn't know when they overstep their bounds.
Oh, they eat all the food. All the food on
Did
everybody's
you see
plate.
the games they put on December 20th?
course.
The games that are against the fucking college football playoff. Why would you do that?
I do.
Do you have that schedule?
I don't.
Dude, they put.
It doesn't even matter. It could be
well, no,
a bunch of dusters,
It's
and
not.
it's still
It's
gonna
good
pull.
teams
Well, of
again
course
that they put up. Why? Why put it up against college football? That's like your like little brother. That's who you like.
You
Why,
want that? You should want the shine on them.
Well,
at
you're
that
trying
stage.
to you're trying to grow that.
I agree.
And those players are coming into your league.
Right.
Grow their brand so when they come in, they're bigger names.
I couldn't
Yeah,
disagree.
I mean,
Couldn't
playing
disagree.
on Christmas, beating the NBA,
Whatever.
that makes sense.
Don't give a fuck.
Doing it to college football, yeah, I agree with you there.
Why go up against the college
It's
football
same
playoff?
interest, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
it's in theory like it's same interest
All
on
you're
both
doing
sides
is
of the coin.
stealing
From yourself.
You from here, right? Instead of us four locking in, which we probably will, locking us three. I'm gonna say four. Us three locking into college football that weekend. Now you're like, oh man, I got to bounce over this NFL game because at that point you're in December, so
Yeah.
those games are really starting
It
to matter.
depends.
It
They
matters.
they should.
It
Yeah,
matters, but
they should.
it is good teams. It's
Sure.
like
right.
I don't know, maybe Steelers, Bengals, maybe one of games.
We're
I can
coming
pull that up
We're
real quick
coming
while we're
into a
talking.
really fucking curious season overall.
Yes.
Okay, I think that Philly
Aaron Rodgers
is going to
still
be
hasn't
lit.
signed.
No, yeah, correct. So
So who the
Pittsburgh
Steelers-
has
so
exactly
the Steelers
no
are the
quarterback, right? Exactly. That's a huge storyline.
Does Jackson Dart play more games than Russell Wilson?
That's a great take. I don't know. It all depends on the gauntlet that they have to play. Is the strength of schedule is
great
number
job,
one.
Sean. How
Yeah.
do the Giants get the
How do
strongest
they?
schedule?
How do they do that?
Brian
That
Daboll
makes
and Joe
no
Shane
sense.
should just fucking retire.
Oh my lord, yeah. They
Instead of
might
quit, or just quit.
Just
They're
get whatever
fucked.
guaranteed money you have left and skedaddle for
mean,
sure.
They're fucked. The
Oh,
Giants'
my
defensive
Lord.
line is going to be one of the best defense lines in football. They are going to get raped on offense by the teams they have to play. They have the strongest strength of schedule.
Oh, dude, they.
Trev.
Just to clarify, are we talking December 18th through 24th for the playoff for the college football?
think, yeah.
Or is it the week before? Or
No,
after?
Well, if you said December 20th, then it's gotta be that weekend.
It's just that Saturday. So, yes, those are the games that are on. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, okay. We got Eagles, Commanders, Bears, Packers on Saturday.
Classics, both absolute
Rivalry
classics.
games that
Both
matter.
absolute classics.
And both are going to be in playoff hunts. Commanders,
in theory,
Eagles, Packers.
in theory, right.
Packers,
right.
Bears could be for the last wild card
That's
spot.
what they're thinking.
Dude,
but
yeah, that is rough. What the fuck?
that's a big
You shouldn't be playing on that day.
It's
Just put them all on
unnecessary.
Sunday.
It's unnecessary. NFL, it's unnecessary.
I got some bones to pick.
Yeah, that's
I
a
like it.
3-bone plate right there,
I
bro.
like
That'll
it.
fill you
I'm
up.
fucking pissed.
I think overall, though, the NFL knew what they were doing with the schedule.
They always do.
No, but this year, once again, just every game has some
That's
sort of
bullshit.
weird tie to it. With you starting with the fucking Patriots and Vrabel
Yeah,
and
I
Tom
know.
Brady and, the whole fucking...
And Vrabel was going to be our coach. Vrabel at one point, they thought that him and Tom were going to be the Raiders
There's too many
coach.
bloodlines for it. And then with Carroll and the Patriots.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's why it's just so easy for them to schedule. They're like, okay, we got drama here. We can make it even more.
And real quick, we all three agree we are not fans of the international game.
Oh,
right?
we're about to talk about it. I think one team got fucking hosed like a motherfucker. And I don't care that you get to stay there.
The
I might
Vikings.
be on the fence there.
I don't like the international games.
Fair enough.
I don't like that
I
at
completely
all.
agree. I completely agree with
When you have a 16-game season, every game matters. I remember the one year the Raiders were the one year we were really winning. We were like 14-2 that year or whatever, 13-3. We had to go to Mexico City for our home game.
I remember that. That was like one of the first ones.
And had like a tough game and like against I think it was the Chargers or somebody.
I want to say it was division. It was like Chiefs or Chargers.
Had a tough game, got the dub, and got out of there. But an incredibly tough game where we look like shit, and that's taking away a home game. Taking away the home games. So I understand 17 game schedule, so maybe that works in and you still get 8 and 8. I know the Vikings get 2. I know they get to stay there. That's fucking stupid. You're taking away from the fans. Who cares about putting fucking teams over in the fucking UK? Keep them in the United States. Like you're still dominating. I just feel like it's a game that is now either if the home team, you're getting screwed because you don't have home field advantage, and home field advantage is something in the NFL. And you're taking away from the fans here to just try to make overseas fans. I don't know. I don't fucking like it. I'm against it. If you want to do preseason shit there, that'd be cool. Why don't you do a whole preseason over there? Fuck it. Don't fucking do the regular games over there.
Do you want to pile on or you want me to go?
I don't like them.
4 bones.
It really breaks my heart that you don't even get the opportunity for 10 home games in a season unless you literally even if you're the first overall seed, you still only get 2 games in the playoffs at home before you go to the Super Bowl. So in theory, you could have 9 home games. That's it. 10 if you get the bonus one now because of the 17th. That's not okay. Your fan base waits all fucking year for these games, dude.
Yeah.
Like
It's not like the NBA where you have like 41
41 games.
82.
No, correct.
Baseball.
It's a very
40
different
hockey.
idea when you're talking a single digit amount of games and you take one away to go to an international market. I'm not saying I don't mind the potential expansion per se, but then invest in it and let them try it out over there with other teams and see how they fucking do and
Well, it
adapt.
already
and-
failed. NFL Europe
You
already
did
failed.
a while ago, yeah, but okay. But are you saying now that you want to try it again, or are you saying
No.
you specifically only want to bring what we already have over there? Is expansion still on the table for England? Is that still kind of a
It
thing?
was always rumored that the Jags would go because he owns a soccer team, right? Or
I believe so.
he owns a soccer team over there in whatever country. And they're over there again. They're over there like every year.
They are they're once a year.
And I
yeah.
guess if you get if that's like your away game, that's okay. But I still think it's fucking. I don't like them. I don't like the
Finish up, Trev.
I agree that you're taking it away from the fans that have built you up. You're also losing that potential home game that's costing you not only ticket sales but concessions, parking. It's a lot of revenue. But on the flip side, I believe this year in the Olympics, flag football is a thing now. And I think the NFL is trying to expand. They've been trying to expand really and make it more of an international game. And I think it kind of leads into that. You're playing an extra game every year on that schedule.
You'd be playing 2.
So I think eventually the NFL is really going to take, not really the end of the season away. I don't really agree with the beginning of the season either, but I think every team eventually is going to play an international game. I think that's where we're headed. I think they're trying to push this
every
out.
season.
Yeah,
one a season for every game, like
I wouldn't be
16
surprised.
games.
I'm talking about 16 games eventually being international.
Which it makes it even shittier when you go to 18 games because now you're fucking you'd have to because then somebody would get 8, right? So one team is this year some team gets 7, and these teams maybe only some of them get so some teams get 9. And now this year, some teams only get 8 because some teams are away for these games.
Of course.
So yeah,
no, that's how it works.
This year
That's
we
how it
got
always works.
7 international games. That's 14 teams
That's
overseas.
insane. Well, no, it's not. It's 13 because Minnesota plays twice.
Well, that's true. You're
That's
correct.
gnarly, dude.
What's the last one, Trev? Because I don't like that there has to be playoff implications that come along with these.
So the
games.
last one is November 16th, and that's Washington and Miami.
That's pretty deep into the regular season.
and that's a pretty big.
That's like week 9.
and that's not like it's Tennessee versus fucking like.
No, that
was the other
Giants.
thing I was going to touch on is before
Or the Jets.
we were when they were doing international games earlier, it seemed like it was a lower tier game, and now they're giving them higher tier games because I think they're trying to grow the sport in those countries.
Yeah, they
are. They
are.
want to see the bigger stars. They want to see the bigger games. They're bringing in all that money from that international crowd now.
I know
And
it has to do with.
they're just
I
extending
know it has
the
to do with
branches
the
of the tree, man.
I know it has to do with the bottom dollar. I just don't love it.
agreed.
That we good with the NFL? Anybody got any more? I'm done taking shits.
We should probably touch on just the holiday games. Probably. I mean, we don't have to touch on all the primetime games.
Excuse me.
But I mean, holiday games are again Christmas Day, kind of big.
What day is Christmas?
No, they know.
Thursday?
Once again, they know what they're doing. Thanksgiving and Christmas are loaded, and they are once again. I don't like that they are taking from the NBA. If I'm being honest, but
I don't mind.
It in a lot of ways.
It's a
I
capitalist
understand.
society, Chuck.
I don't necessarily love it either.
I still think it inflicts upon common interests, as it were. It doesn't matter.
Just because they were
it
doing
doesn't
it
matter
first
on,
doesn't mean that it's the
on
right decision. Chuck.
On Wednesday at 2:30, an NFL game will generate more viewership than a primetime NBA game. Okay,
Yes.
right. So
It's king. in
right.
America.
So why wouldn't you just use another day around the day that the NBA's played on for literally 80 years?
I don't like that. I don't like that they do it on Wednesday. The Thursday
No, I'm
is
not
whatever.
making an argument for Wednesday either. I'm just saying
Well, I don't like the
literally
Wednesday.
any other
I don't
time.
like the Wednesday. Thursday's not as bad
I don't
because it still falls in your Thursday Sunday sweepstakes.
I mean,
bullshit.
honestly,
I'm more
overall,
pissed off with them
I-
going to give it to college football. So
yeah, and I understand that. That's how I feel.
Also, just to double back.
Double back.
I mean, that's another reason is because NFL is king, and soccer is the biggest world
that.
sport.
No, it ain't.
But
Bunch of
NFL is trying to show
crybabies.
them that there's better. There's better sports out
fuck
there.
yeah, there is. It's called.
You're missing out, world.
Soccer.
We're going to tell you right now. We're going to show
Soccer
you.
doesn't suck. Soccer doesn't suck. We just don't play it very
It's
well.
awful. It's awful to watch.
But Thanksgiving, we got Packers, Lions, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bengals, Ravens. On Black Friday, Bears, Eagles. So all those are bangers.
Bangers.
Dude, the Bears pulled the
fucking
second
tough.
toughest schedule. Like,
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Oh, damn, I got to catch up. Christmas, we got
Opener, Charlie.
Redskins,
I was about to say, I'm looking
Cowboys,
around. I thought I brought it back in
Lions, Vikings.
here. Maybe not.
Just go grab it real quick while we
I'm
talk
gonna.
about
Yeah,
these.
you guys keep
We'll
going.
keep
I'll
schedule.
come back.
We'll go schedule before we drop into the MLB. Cowboys and fucking Dolphins get the most. That pisses me off.
Yeah, me too. Especially when you look at what they pulled last season, you weren't like one of the top like viewed teams because of how bad they became.
When we get into this,
they still get all the primetime games because they're the Cowboys.
When we get into this in a couple months,
Jerry Jones, man.
When we get into this in a couple months about like where we think teams are going to finish, some of these teams, there's so many questions, and those two teams have huge fucking questions.
Yes.
And I don't know how you have teams with these bigger questions on as many primetime games. Like, Chiefs, I understand. Bills, Ravens, Eagles. All the NFC North is going to be big time. Rams. Those are the teams you want to be, like, shouting out, like, the good teams. Why do we have the Dolphins and the Cowboys?
Yeah, the only to be determined primetime games are the last games of the Monday and Sunday night schedule. Everything else is pretty much locked.
Commanders have a ton of
even if the Cowboys are going to be dog shit, they will put them on television.
Commanders have a bunch, which is cool because you want to like totally shell out
that
on
one. That one's smart. That one's much smarter.
You want to shell out on Jaden, dude.
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be the Texans regression with the Commanders.
I don't think so either. It seemed like there was a lot of friction between Bobby Slowick and CJ that we didn't really know about.
Oh, obviously, yeah. No,
I love
the toughest schedule. I mean, the tougher schedule comes into play. The offensive line being a mess obviously contributed to what the Texans ended up being this season.
Yeah, were they really? I mean, I can't wait till we get looking at all that. Let's get a cheers before some baseball talk. And I love that we're revisiting Newcastle.
Heck yeah!
I saw it was spoke to me. It was the last pack of when I was at the store.
It's just a staple brown, dude.
Easy drinking brown.
It's like one of my first browns I ever drank.
Todd Costa, England. Oh, for sure.
It's probably the first brown I drink. It's one of my first like micro brews.
That's why I pulled it. Once again, it's why it spoke to me. I thought of you. I was just like, we could always bring this.
I had a Newcastle sweatshirt for a little bit. I don't know what happened to it.
I remember. Yeah. Well, fuck, man. I had plenty of different things that said plenty of different stuff. You know.
I had to like order that shit online from like the Newcastle store, dude.
Just looking at numbers too, just to throw it out there. 49ers don't have an international game. We still have the
4.7
fifth most traveled miles out of all the teams in the NFL. Of
course. We're West Coast teams. Yeah. We have to travel east all the time.
Yeah.
It's what we have.
You're
have
right.
To do.
You're at third.
Of course.
Seattle.
Of course.
Chargers first. Rams second.
It's because the Chargers have to fly internationally.
Look at Buffalo's.
Yeah, Buffalo's second to last. 31st.
They travel like 800 yards.
Josh Allen, on the East Coast.
East Coast gets,
that's what I'm saying.
East Coast gets a lot of breaks on everything except for game time.
Game time is awful, bro. Them primetime game times, 10:30 kickoffs.
That's rough.
Fuck me.
Let's rotate into some Major League Baseball.
Oh boy.
So I went to.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I want to get the good stuff in first.
Stuff.
Yeah, because I have a bone to pick on this one.
I got a huge
well.
bone to pick too.
We have the same bone. Would be my guess.
River Cat.
We 5-bone plate. We come with.
We went to the Sacramento A's game.
Hey,
I'll call it that. I don't give a fuck. I wore my Oakland A's gray jersey the away.
Love it.
Always the away.
Classic.
Wore this hat. Me and Grayson have the same hat, so Angelique thought it would be cute. He was pissed.
Love it. I love it. Yes, that's the best reaction. That's what you want him to say.
Well,
Dad.
Well, no, because he likes rocking his the home hat that he got when he was in T-ball.
Okay.
It's it's beat up, it's dirty, but he loves rocking that hat.
Love that. Why?
Because he's like, Mom, why are you gonna make me wear this hat? I want to wear this hat. So he's kind of mad at Angela.
Okay, so it wasn't his choice, okay.
But he does have a green A's jersey, so he wore that, and I wore my Oakland one. Venue's sick. They had 2 food trucks inside the venue. 12,000 people were there. It's basically like Aces Stadium.
12 grand's not bad, dude.
Well, really. When you're trying to tell me that you're going to put 30,000 in the stadium in Vegas, you stupid fucking Nevada legislature motherfuckers. What the fuck are you thinking? Hold on, let me get back to positive notes. It was super cool. to go there. We like walked around the stadium. It's a cool spot. Like it's like the Aces Stadium, basically. You know,
makes
grass
sense.
stadiums.
Well, it's the River Cat Stadium.
Yeah, in left field they have beer garden. I thought it was really cool. They pulled in the 2 food trucks to give a diversity of just like the other stuff, pizzas and hot dogs and everything. Of course, I crush a hot dog every time I go to a baseball game. Have to eat a hot dog.
It is. It's the protein that I crave.
And I smoke enough cigars that
everything tastes
tastes good, and I'll eat other foods. Cigars do that to you. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, no, it is. Instead of it damaging your flavor, in fact, it impacts it quite positively.
So it was sweet. We were sitting there, and Aaron Judge walked out, and I was like, damn, dude, that dude is fucking big. And she was like, where's he at? And I was like, right there. And she goes, hey, he looks pretty big. And then she goes, holy shit. And I said, what? He goes, he's standing next to people. And I turned and looked, and he was fucking
dwarfing.
Dude, he's a big fucking dude.
Well, and most MLB guys are regular size guys.
Yeah.
They're our size.
Dude, he's 6'7", like
standing next to Jose Altuve.
Do you remember that? That's an iconic picture of them standing at second base together. I have a card. I have a baseball card of that.
Love that.
But it just a super cool venue.
Fuck both those teams.
I don't mind the Yankees as much anymore.
Boo.
Because
that's a shit take. We will not have that on this podcast.
Because Aaron Judge is hard not to root for. So
right, you can root for him.
Well, you end up rooting for a team. Dude is hitting over 400 still.
He is.
He has 15 home runs. He is on a streak that is unlike any other. And then he got up. He went 4 for 5. Grayson booed him the first time, and me and Angelique both you don't fucking do that. You don't boo people. We don't boo people in our family. You just don't talk.
All right.
Fair. But you don't boo. That's bad. That's bad sportsmanship.
Okay. Do you heckle?
If my son isn't around and I'm close enough to get in somebody's ear that somebody does something unsportsmanlike on the field,
then you will.
You don't just random heckle?
No.
I would just shout from my seat. You know me way too much.
I keep my mouth shut when it becomes.
Oh no, dude! I am a heckler. It's
Charlie can't keep his mouth shut.
It's
between
PG
the lines.
heckling. It's PG heckling.
Charlie can't keep his mouth shut between the lines.
He knows we just went to a fucking Tahoe game, and I didn't even know the team, and I'm shouting at the other one like I don't give a fuck. Little small dick. His name was Dick Man. His name was Dick Man. His last name was Dick Man.
But he's just asking for it.
Small Dick Man.
But it was a cool venue. They got their asses kicked. They did, but it was sweet just to go there and see it.
I know you were unfortunately one day off from the perfect metric game for
where
you.
the A's won and Judge hit 2 bombs
twice. Yeah,
that would have been sick, dude. And just to see him that's one of those.
He still went 4 for 5. So it's not like he had a shit game.
He crushed.
Yeah.
Balls were crushed. He was hitting line drives. But just to see a player like that play.
You want to see greatness be great.
Well, that and I've seen the big 3 play. I've seen Alex Rodriguez and Juan Gonzalez eat chip bombs at the Coliseum. Well, seeing those kind of dudes do shit like that, you don't get to go. It's not like we get to go to games every day and whatever. And seeing it in person is so much different. Seeing it in baseball and having Grayson be able to see Aaron Judge go for 5. He's the one heckling Aaron, and I'm like, yeah, hit a home run, please hit a home run. And Grayson's
shout out to
oh
Gray.
no.
Hey, it's the name on the front of the jersey, not the back.
He's always like, why you root for him, Dad? I said, buddy,
love it. That's
watching that dude
right there.
Watching that dude play baseball is like a dream. That you watching him, if we could ever go see Shohei play.
Also, just quite impressive as to the size of the man, right? Dude, 6'7", 260 or some shit.
When he walked out from
and lives up to the stature.
Yeah. Oh,
dude, he is the face right now. Him and Shohei, right? And he
should be. They should lean more into him. I don't feel like they give him actually enough, which is crazy.
He's walking out from the outfield and he's got his bag on, and dude, you could just be I was like.
No, you don't want to stand next to that man.
I was
You'll feel inferior.
You
will feel inferior. Yeah, no.
So
ginormous.
Trip was amazing. Game, dude. It was just a baseball game. It sucks we lost, but it wasn't like we lost to
the Tampa Bay Rays
or somebody shitty where you didn't get to see stars.
Sure.
We saw Stars play.
Right,
Goldschmidt was there.
Seeing the Stars is big.
And Goldschmidt's another fan fave of mine.
It's
first baseman Arizona,
dude.
Diamondbacks, Cardinals. So you're seeing these dudes.
1,000%.
So seeing the Yankees was sick.
I completely agree with that because the reason why when I was in Seattle last year and we went to a game, I got to see Ellie play. And I was he didn't really crack that game, which I was okay with because we won. But that's
a bad motherfucker.
But yeah, exactly. We wanted to see the potential of and he is fast as all get out too, bro. He got thrown out by Julio. that game was dope as fuck.
Sidebar.
Sidebar.
Can you guys believe how bad the Orioles are this year? They've already
Well,
fired
they just
their
fired
coach.
they just fired their
And then I
skipper
turn-
like a couple days ago.
And then I happened to turn on
Which
the
is
game.
the third one this season
Which you
already,
don't
by
really
the
see
way.
in
I
baseball.
know. Not at least
I'm
until
just
the end
I
of the year.
turned that game
Last
on
two
yesterday. The morning so it was the morning after they fired their coach. They didn't get an out until like the fucking 7th hitter in the lineup or something.
That's terrible.
The dude, I think the starter was done the first inning the day after you fired your fucking manager.
Yeah.
And we had big hopes for that team with Gunnar Henderson and Ashton, the catcher, who was hitting all the bombs for in the home run derby. It was fun to watch him. Remember he went Adley Rutchinson? Remember he went left-handed and right-handed in the home run derby? Never seen that before. So big hopes for the O's, but they've really slipped and slid.
Those did the no's.
Who wants to start off the?
While we're on baseball,
yeah.
though, I gotta
I don't want to hear it.
touch it.
Don't touch
Giants
it.
and
I'm gonna
the
touch your
A's
fucking.
just played.
I'm gonna touch your fucking.
And
Sorry, Trev.
William Fuller,
Golly.
my guy.
Your guy.
42 RBIs.
42.
One
Yeah.
ahead of
Judge.
Judge now after last night.
Game-winning RBI last night.
Yes, dude. The Giants had that 3 home run game in SF. Oh my goodness.
There is,
My A's are
before
struggling
we
right now.
close out this segment, there is a bone I want to pick.
Hold on. Well, that's what you starting it.
Yes.
Okay, start.
Yes, we're picking bones.
Well, don't give
More
us
bones.
give us the info before the bonus pick.
I will. Absolutely. The info is that Major League Baseball is now,
Rob Manfred.
has now allowed Pete Rose and anybody who had
Oh,
basically
yes.
been abolished from the Hall of Fame
Hold
is
on.
now reinstated, as
Hold
it
on.
were.
They have taken the players that were on the permanent
Ban
list
right.
and moved them to a lifetime ban list. And now that they are dead, they
Their
are
ban
now
list is
eligible
gone.
for the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That's
correct.
the way. That's the
Whatever.
actual
whatever.
words for it.
Who cares? The fact of the matter is they moved it to where people who has been banished lifetime the entire time until they actually passed were not allowed to be in the Hall of Fame. Look, I was a stand for the idea that I thought Pete Rose should have been in there. He's an all-time fucking hit leader. Period.
Yep.
Like, how are you by like a large length too, and will more than likely remain that. Like, I mean, there could be a guy.
one record that will never be broken.
He's like 1,000 up on the most recent active person. It's insane.
More than that.
Okay, then that's but if you're gonna keep him out because what he did was bad, especially at the time, and he said he bet on the games he was playing in as well. He did come out and
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't say that?
No, he only
never
said that he
admitted to
bet.
that.
He only said he
sorry,
bet,
then.
bet on games that he managed,
Oh, not played in. Managed, not played in.
but that's false. He did bet on games he played in.
Oh,
Yeah.
but then it came out to say,
evidence
okay,
to
so
the
he
contrary.
lied. Okay, all right. Well, then, okay. So then there you go. He was just like a strict. He was a gambling addict for sure, is what that means. But he's also the best hitter of all time. Spirit fingers.
I got something to say too, but you go.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Yes or no? Then Trav, go ahead and talk on what you guys speak on. Do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame, Chuck? Yes or no?
Yes.
Trav?
Yes. Easy.
No,
You don't think so?
not at all. Go ahead, Trav. Speak on what you guys speak on. Then I will.
I mean, if you know baseball, you know Pete Rose's story. But I think this is Major League Baseball. This all kind of goes back to the steroid era for me. They allowed that to happen.
Correct.
And I think this is them creating a loophole for themselves. So all the players that are thought to have or have been
But none
found
of those players have been banned.
true, but I think this is still a loophole for them because maybe after they pass, then by the time this gets further down the road, I think the players that were banned or the players that did steroids are going to get into the Hall of Fame because of what they just did with this season, creating that option of players. Yeah, a loophole of these players are a part of baseball history. You tell the story of baseball with them. We're going to put them in the Hall eventually. Maybe not right away. I don't think any of these guys are going to get in next ballot, but I think they're all going to eventually get in.
Okay. I got lots of thoughts, and I'll unpack that too.
Okay.
For one, he's not getting in. It doesn't mean he gets in. They're not voting on until December of 2027.
Yeah. And I don't, again, not first time. Not this time. But people are going to, over time, it's just going to become easier and easier for people to be like, hey, man, we got to tell this story.
That's fine. You can tell the story of baseball without. And I am, I have McGwire jerseys for the Cardinals and A's. I have 500 Mark McGwire cards.
You don't think he's getting in the Hall of Fame?
No, and I don't believe he should be. He's my favorite player of all time.
Damn,
he
okay,
still
that's
cheated
a
the
take.
game. He still cheated the game of baseball. He saved the game of baseball, but still cheated the game of baseball at the same time. You can still tell a story of baseball without inducting to the Hall of Fame.
But I think because Major League Baseball allowed that to happen and they knew it was happening,
And I have the same
going
bone.
to eventually happen.
I have the same bone to pick. It will not, because they aren't banned. They are not banned from the game of baseball, so them dying does not allow them in. They are not getting voted in and still being allowed to be on the ballot. Those guys will never make it, ever. They cheated the game of baseball. They will never make it in. What you do is you have your Hall of Fame, but as you walk through a museum, there's other things in the museum that don't necessarily mean that player's in the Hall of Fame. You can have a section of the museum, and you should. I haven't been there. I'd love
Cooperstown.
to go to Cooperstown. That's like probably on like the one place I
Bucket
want to
list.
go inside the United States on vacation. Otherwise, I want to go sit on a fucking beach and drink beers in a fucking pool like we're going to do
Euro
in
coming
October.
up in 5 months. Ew. Yeah, all of us, boys.
But seriously, I love McGwire. McGwire and Sosa saved the game of baseball. The 94 strike happened. That killed the game of baseball with
We don't
Matt
have to go
Williams
down
and Ken
that
Griffey
rabbit
Jr.
hole. It's
Oh,
okay.
and it's touching on the
All
same
right.
situation, Chuck. They saved the game of baseball in that run where they went for the fucking Roger Maris title.
Yeah, him and Sosa, man.
There could be a section of the Hall of Fame that says steroid era and it talks about this reason, but the Hall of Fame needs to do it. The Hall of Fame isn't connected to the game of baseball. That's like one of the you need to pause?
Nope.
Is one of the most overlooked things. MLB does not control the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is an independent thing. If the Hall of Fame wanted to put Pete Rose in, they could have just put him on the ballot and done it. Like, there's this misconception of that the Hall of Fame is run by MLB. MLB letting him in kind of gives the Hall of Fame like, okay, now we're going to do it because we don't want to upset the game of baseball, which is great. They shouldn't have done it in the first place. But no, you can still tell the story of Pete Rose betting Hall of Fame. He bet when he was a player, and people are like, oh, he bet only when he only bet on himself to win. Did he bet up for 162 games? No. So when he wasn't betting, what does that say more than when he is betting? That's the thing.
Yes.
And Dan Patrick went to the same bookie that fucking Pete Rose did, and he knew all of this. Pete Rose bet through everything. Fine, you can bet on anything you want. He bet when he was a player. You cannot bet when you're a player, and you bet when you're a manager. That is, dude, you can't do that. You are just as bad as the steroid era guys. And my boy, my favorite player of all time, is in that. So I hold him not in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. David Ortiz got in. He shouldn't have been in the Hall of Fame. You cannot put these guys in the Hall of Fame.
I will say it's two different styles of cheating, though, right? Or potential
Cheating
cheating.
is cheating, man.
Cheating is
Okay.
cheating.
Okay.
Like,
So-
And
And
I
I
just
know-
because you didn't bet on the one pitcher the one day. So if that information is available, then did that bookie release? Hey, Pete didn't bet on this team to say how many? It doesn't
skews
work.
a million and 5 different ways.
Correct.
There's no way
It
to
doesn't
put
work.
like
You do-
science on it. It's
You
not,
fucked
it's
up.
an exact science.
You're
Inexact
and then
science.
somebody else said this week, oh well, I don't know why it's that big of a deal. They let betting now in every sport. You can bet on every sport. You can't bet on the sport you fucking play in.
No.
That does not work.
No, if you're active with it in the league, you can't bet. Period. No matter.
That's my spit. I will never change it. I don't even want my boy to be in the Hall. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. But there should be a spot in the Hall of Fame that talks about McGwire and Sosa. That doesn't mean they get elected to the Hall of Fame. You cheated. He bet on the game of baseball. There are lines. There is no gray area in those areas. David Ortiz shouldn't be in the
Fair.
Hall of Fame.
Fair.
I mean, I kind of agree with everything you're saying. I just think that the way it's going, like, I think this is baseball really admitting their mistake. This was a Hall of Fame based on numbers, but all those numbers have been skewed because of what they have allowed. And I just think over time that stance is going to soften, and people are going to be like, hey, these players are part of history, and the Hall of Fame is what speaks on that. Thank you for that. Good call. Good C. Good spot. Whatever.
Shout out to my Aces for not dying, baby girl. Good job. We recorded just fine. This whole episode is fine. Like, we'll be all right.
I just, that's the thing I fight with for a long time is who, and even my boy A-Rod. Like, I was one of the biggest A-Rod fans and
it's just funny because he played for Seattle, Texas, and New York.
But watching him play the game, dude, you knew when he played for Seattle.
He was Aaron Judge before Aaron Judge.
You knew when he was playing, watching him play the game of shortstop. Dude, he was the best shortstop on the Yankees. Derek Jeter's not that good of shortstop.
He never played shortstop on the Yankees.
He was the best shortstop on the Yankees.
He should have been. Correct. But then what do you do with Jeter?
He should play second base.
Okay, fair. It's fair.
But no, we're not getting it. But but then when you lied twice, you fucking lost me after the second lie. Well, still could have been the greatest baseball player of all time. You still cheated. You don't belong in the Hall of Fame. Should have been the greatest baseball player of all time.
But that's where I think I agree. But I think the stance softens because him and Bonds are Hall of Famers before they cheated, and because of that, I think over time it's just going to be easier to push them in.
I don't think it's going to happen.
It doesn't matter at all in that sense. As far as like if a cheater's a cheater, then it doesn't matter if you used it later or earlier. Yes, Barry Bonds was electric as a Pirate, and then he came over to SF and was still very good within his first couple of years.
But when the league knows you're cheating and allows you to cheat, isn't it on the league at that point?
I mean,
would you disagree with that?
I'm not.
No, I don't disagree.
And then they circle back and they fucking do the congressional hearing. And it was all a bag of trash.
It's all bullshit.
No, it was. I agree. I wish
it was a dog and pony show. Like, no, it saved baseball and it ruined baseball at the same time. Like Downey has just said. Like, and I appreciate your stance, sir, because I know McGuire is a deep part of your history of baseball, and like
over 500 baseball cards.
No, you have bins, bro. You have bins. No, I know.
No, of one player.
I've seen them. No, I know. I've seen them. I've seen the bins. Like, and that's impressive. And it sucks when motherfuckers come up short like that, right? Like, even though like he's still. It's such a tough argument. He took a competitive advantage.
We got a couple quick things to touch on before we finish and roll to the next segment.
Let's go.
Yeah.
NHL playoffs is in full view.
Okay, let's
my
go.
Knights totally fucked themselves.
They kind of ate a hang dang doodle dang. Dude.
Gave up both games in the first. In the game 1 and 2, each had lead in the first period. Gave
the
those games
Oilers
away.
Onward.
Oilers versus Dallas Stars for the Western. I'm almost got to root for the Stars. I hate to say it, dude. I ain't rooting for no Canadians.
Especially after they just mollywopped your team.
Oh mollywopped. In the second series, you got the Maple Leafs are still playing.
I love that expression, by the way.
Mollywop?
Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it?
Maple Leafs and Panthers are still playing. And then you have the. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Today?
I think it's today. I think. Oh, we have.
Wait. What's today? No, it's
Monday.
No, it is today. It is today.
Is it today? Because that means we have 2 game 7s. We have hockey and basketball.
Which we'll get to the NBA.
And I'm so glad Carolina fucking beat the fucking. I do not
I
don't
like the Caps and Ovechkin.
I do not like Ovechkin. No. I do not like the Caps.
I read that wrong. I thought the Capitals were going to win that series. It didn't happen that way.
Yeah, I thought they were going to too, and I was glad they did not.
Good.
But we are cutting these fucking Canadians out, so I really want the Panthers to win. And then I don't want to root for the Stars, but I ain't rooting for the Oilers to get there. I do not want the fucking Oilers to win.
Here we are in the conference finals.
So wait, who are we rooting for hockey? Do you have a team at this point that you're rooting for?
No, I don't.
Well, it's either one of the Florida teams, Carolina or Florida.
I can't root for Florida.
Not Florida.
I can't do it.
Well, then Carolina Hurricanes got to be your call.
It doesn't bother me.
You can't root. Are you rooting for the Dallas Stars? You ain't rooting for no Canadians, eh? Don't fucking do it, Trev.
If Connor McDavid goes out and gets a chip, that's like, that's one of the guys getting a fucking ring. That's a deal.
Also
it's a big deal.
Canadian team, Chuck. I don't want the Blue Jays to ever win a World Series. So,
but hockey feels like it would be.
Oh Lord. dude. All right. Well, there you
Not
go,
having
man.
a hockey team.
You
I don't
guys
really
need to
have
finish
that
your
Canadian
motherfucking
hate.
beers, dude. We gotta come back.
We got WNBA. I know you guys want to touch on a little. Caitlin
We're
Clark's
gonna
back.
match that in with the NBA. All right,
I
let's
mean, we
get
could
it.
do it now. We could do it then.
We're here.
I got one other thing in golf to talk about, but yeah, Caitlin Clark's back. I think she's having an epic season.
Yeah,
Starts
she
out with
Clearly
triple
did.
double.
Right.
Women's
Well, she's not tired.
WNBA started yesterday.
She just came off of a fucking season. College girls don't get any rest.
3 weeks, 4 weeks, a
That's
month.
not enough.
No, especially if you go. Well, you get a little bit from but overall not in relation
If
to
your
what.
team fucking sucks, you get rest.
Right. If you go deeper into the tournament, then you get drafted, then you start. It's within like 6 weeks, which is like crazy if you're talking about like draft process. It's not okay.
Workouts,
it's
combines.
right, exactly, because it's not
You're
like
just sitting down.
televised the same way that the NFL is, but it goes through the same rigorous.
Yeah.
You're talking to people, you're working out for sure. Absolutely,
You're still getting ready and all that shit. So you're
1,000%.
still not
You don't know
giving
where you're gonna go.
You're still not giving your body a chance.
And you're probably stressed the fuck out to begin with, like
So
dude, draft has
she's
gotta be
getting to
nuts.
come on full health, full rest.
Yeah, she's
full
chilling.
everything.
She knows her situation. She's at home.
MVP.
Yeah, well,
MVP.
she's probably one of the favorites. I'm sure she is.
She got my vote in game one.
course.
I mean, they opened the season again with that Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark opener. Caitlin has a triple double. Angel has a double double.
Yeah, but they got beat by fucking 40 points. It was 93 to 58.
Yeah, it wasn't really a game. Indiana dominated. Chicago, not that great.
Angel Reese ain't that good.
Yeah, man. There was a lot of talk over the hard foul that Caitlin put on Angel Reese. It was a total basketball play, though. There was nothing dirty about that.
She swiped
play.
at the ball in her lap. There was no
And then she
upward motion.
overreacted. She dramatized trying to draw the foul, which wasn't needed because it was an obvious foul.
It was a foul. Oh, it was
Yeah.
for sure a foul. It was a strike at the ball, dude.
And then
that's all that was.
Angel comes with the
Ron Artest of the WNBA, dude.
She has that
Jesus
energy.
Christ, dude. Yeah, Caitlin Clark has been on her bench for 45 seconds, and she still was getting angry at her. I think it was a little over the top on some directions, is what I will say.
I don't know if she's just playing to the media though. At that point, it was so far.
The rest of the season should not be dictated by this. I really
no,
hope
not at
that
all.
Caitlin Clark moves forward, just banging in dimes from behind the arc. Yeah, do you thing, girl. Paige Bucher's coming heavy for the Dallas Wings. Let's keep going and keep pushing this sport forward.
I do have one comment before we leave. This week, the Masters was a month ago, right? So this week, one of the questions to Rory
It's the
McIlroy.
PGA Championship this weekend.
Yeah. Dude, Scotty Scheffler's on fire. That guy's so good.
Very consistent.
The Masters was a month ago, and one of the questions to Rory was about why he didn't talk to Bryson during their fourth round. Why are we still asking that question? Such a stupid question. He didn't talk to him. Oh, well, are you trying to bring up because it's Liv versus PGA?
Yeah.
If it was somebody
trying
else.
to create drama.
Right. If it was somebody else versus Rory and Rory didn't talk to them, would you have asked? No, all you're doing is creating the drama.
This
Why
is
does
all
media
media.
always have to do shit
Because
like
drama-
that?
They're
Drama
trying to
sells.
build. They're
Drama
building a
sells.
story.
It's so stupid.
It's not a
Blood
real
sells,
story.
dude. Blood sells. They want to see people not like each other, or somebody make some stupid ass comment that catches on or something. Or even the person who asked the question knew it was dated, but still made it because they wanted to have some sort of here we are talking
And
about
it
it.
happens with every athlete. It's just so stupid that it's you always pushing these guys to say
Right,
something.
and
And,
I
then when they say it,
absolutely-
you're like, oh, he just shouldn't have said that. Well, you fucking pushed him to say it, you
Asked him
asshole.
the same question 7 different ways, and
Right.
was expecting him.
It's a
It's-
month after the Masters. He answered it after the Masters. Leave it alone.
It's-
Then you go back and hit it up again.
Yeah, no, it's sad. The state of the media trying to create stories.
This isn't even to talk about golf. This is to
We're
talk
talking
about
about
the
media in general.
Yeah.
It's a media overview of why are we asking the athlete after the athlete answered it 4 weeks ago. And just because it's another big event or another big game, we're still going to bring it up.
Something out of nothing.
Yes. Let's just try to make something out of nothing
So
when it's
let's
probably
bring on
nothing.
some honest podcasters and some honest, anchors and everything. And check us out, Balls and Brews. If you like honesty and you like it going, we're gonna kill the topics, but we are haters. We are haters.
Well,
I'm a hater.
you're a hater.
I'm a big hater. Oh, I might have to wear a shit ass OKC hat. Stay tuned for segment 2.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
So much better. Fuck.
So much better. So we have to bring up the elephant in the room, I guess. We're all drinking different colored beers because we actually had to cut pod and restart because we had opened up. We won't name it. Oh my god! Yet we opened up a cider and had it, and we think it was bad. It smelled like rotten eggs. It had a very, very bad aftertaste.
Vile.
With nothing up front, which was even worse. So we're not doing a shit list yet because we think that batch might have been bad because it should.
It was not good.
Dustful's up there because that was intended flavor. We think we actually had a bad batch because it smelled.
That's how bad it was.
That couldn't have been what they wanted it to taste like. There's no human on earth that likes that taste.
No. So we won't name.
Oh my god, it was foul. Okay,
said drink yet.
No, we don't want to.
But we will give it another shot. So right now,
I was at first.
You got cut from the goddamn pod.
Me and Charlie are each drinking the left-hand milk stouts, and
Cheers
Trev
to
is
that.
on the Alaskan Amber.
Classic.
Leftover draft beers.
Leftover beers from draft.
All fantastic brews, by the way, and thank God for that because we needed to get that out of memory as soon as possible.
It was so bad.
That was bad.
Let's jump into the actual sports talk now.
Yeah, let's do something
past
positive.
Let's get past this.
We're moving right along.
You know, conspiracies again, right?
Are terrible. Are not.
Usually
are
doesn't
sometimes not terrible. What?
But the NBA could do themselves a favor
By not rigging the draft lottery.
Do you actually think that?
Dude, come the fuck on, brother. Look at the trends of trades in mid-season and then who got the lottery pick the following year. The only one that kind of made sense is when Cleveland got it, but they got it 3 out of 4 years in a row as well after LeBron left. Like,
deservedly so. I mean, they were bad.
Right. But
he ruined that team in a way. They were supposed to have that probability. The Mavericks, if you're a playing team, you shouldn't even be in the lottery.
1.8% chance they had.
I don't care. They shouldn't even fucking be there. It doesn't make sense.
I don't like that technically 20 teams make the playoffs. I know that 4 of them are in a play-in version of that, but even still, like, that to me just... It kind of...
That still gives you, though, 8 teams
right
that should be in the lottery. And I understand the lottery, being there they think to try and help against tanking, even though the CBA kind of contradicts that. So if you still want to have a lottery, it's just...
Is the lottery dated? Is that what you're saying?
I think it should be updated.
Updated. Okay, and what parameters?
Do you have a
I'm about this.
Do you have a new suggestion of how
exactly?
We get it?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Do you like the NFL? Do you like the NBA? Or do you want the NFL to keep the NFL way it goes?
The NFL should keep the NFL way.
Do you think the NFL should go to a lottery?
No.
You think so? How do you think the NBA lottery? How does it need to be reworked then?
Well, again, the difference with the sports is tanking is easier to spot in the NBA. NFL, the careers are so short that you can't do that if you're a player or a coach.
Not to mention you got way too many dudes out there who are not willing to tank at once. Like in an NBA game, you got 5 dudes.
No, I know.
If two of them are in the same boat, that team's is sinking real quick because the other 3 probably aren't that good either.
So you got Mavericks 1,
right?
Spurs get the second.
They sure do.
Who just had Castleman Rookie of the Year,
right?
Yep.
And Wemby Rookie of the Year before that.
Yep. Getting De'Aaron Fox.
And getting De'Aaron Fox, which doesn't work out for the second pick.
So then they better fucking make a pick.
Well, they projected to take the
point guard.
The point guard from Rutgers, but then so I don't know about that. Number 3, you have the Sixers. Number 4 is the Hornets. 5, Jazz. Wizards 6, Pelicans 7, Nets.
So the
8.
2 teams with the worst records went 5 and 6.
We did not want. I wouldn't mind if Cooper Flag went to the Jazz, but we did not want the Wizards getting Cooper Flag. We do not want
That's
the
been
Pelicans
a
getting Cooper
horrid
Flag.
franchise. The Wizards
It's
has
probably-
been a horrid franchise.
The Dallas
for a while
Mavericks
now.
getting Cooper Flag when Kyrie comes back, if AD comes back with
Oh,
that
dude.
roster,
Yeah.
it
Good
makes
for
the
the
Mavericks
Mavericks.
a top
Relevant.
4 team.
And
extremely
Cooper
relevant
Flag.
very quickly.
Nico Harris looks like a savior at this point after everything that's happened after this season.
The Spurs need to get one dude.
Yeah.
They need a veteran to go along. Well, they got De'Aaron
I
Fox, so
think they
De'Aaron
could
Fox
trade
should
this
come back
pick for
healthy.
sure.
But dude, if they could get somebody else with Wemby, I mean, I don't know, love the kid coming out of Rutgers. I mean, he's a good pick, but
Dude,
I
but
think
look
you
at all of that talent that's right there with one more. You got 3 dudes right there. You just named at least. You got okay, now rookie of the year is only.
But Castle, I think, is a point guard already, so I don't
Okay.
like taking. It's not like you're taking 2 threes where you could go 2 and 3 with like
Stretch it.
Say
I
the
get it.
Lakers
I know
aren't-
what you
say
mean.
the Lakers are fucking stupid and ended up taking Jason Tatum instead of Ball, where you could have Ingram and Tatum on the same team. That's different than taking 2 shooting guard or
Could
2
you
point
imagine,
point guards.
revisionist history. If you could have drafted Jason Tatum,
Maybe I should start drafting for all my motherfucking teams.
I mean, we
That
didn't
one's
even really
a
touch
whiff of
on
Ruski.
the Tatum injury, though.
Dude, rest in peace, brother. He's
We'll
done
get there,
for,
Trev.
Okay.
He's done for at
I
least
mean,
a
that's
fucking.
that's like looking forward for the Celtics. This is like a lot going in the next season.
We
Sure.
got so much.
Million
We have
percent.
so much to talk about when we get there.
%.
I just feel like I don't think it could be rigged, but I think the NBA could do themselves a favor and do the ball thing on TV to where and when the ball came out, you saw.
They don't
everybody.
anymore.
Nope.
They used
Really?
to.
They used to, yeah.
Because it's only a half hour now.
Right,
I
but
don't
that's
think
fine,
They,
but
I don't think
they
they do
don't
the ball.
televise it?
Not
I
the
was
events.
listening to one talk show and they said that they didn't do it. The envelopes came out and then the cards
How
went up.
dumb is that? So you don't even have the availability to what?
There are witnesses, like a bunch of lawyers or other people, but how many people? That's what I'm
Boo.
saying.
Boo,
Put it on
NBA.
TV.
Boo.
Give yourself a shot.
Boo,
NBA
boo,
With the
boo.
Knicks
They
getting Patrick
used to.
Ewing.
So bad.
They used to absolutely televise the lottery. At least the first 5 to 10 picks. I
Not now.
vividly remember that as
No,
a child.
they did, but it's still like
And
they
they
never
slotted the
marketed
little
it
card.
well.
They had the wooden fucking panel out in front that had like the slots for the cards. Yeah, and they put the logo. Because I wanted the Sonics to get the best, dude.
Of course you did.
Back here at all, come back.
Sorry.
Wearing a Thunder hat in a couple weeks.
Never, ever.
Never ever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think. I don't know if it actually is. It's just kind of convenient that it happens.
Then it's always on the
Because
heels
who got
of a big
because of
trade.
the Falcons-
it's always on the
no,
heels
because
of
the
a big
Hawks-
trade or a big leave.
The Hawks got it last year with the number 1 pick in a shitty draft when they didn't really have any big heel or big trade or anything happen. That kid kind of played well at the end of the year though. So I don't know. That team's a kind of weird team too.
The Atlanta Hawks are not a good team. No, they're not a good team.
What do you
They're an
think of Trae
okay
Young?
team. I've never liked Trae
I know.
Young.
What do you think of Trae Young?
I've never really liked. His game is okay. Okay, well, Trev, you okay? Go ahead, Trev.
No, I'm just going to piggyback on that. Trae Young, I just think it feels like he's trying too hard a lot of times. That his
It's a
game
fair take.
is not.
I agree with that.
I feel this is part of what Steph created, and it doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody's Steph, and that game isn't pretty to watch if you're not that great.
I think that Trey can have games where Trey's needs to be like a 2.
He doesn't move
Yeah.
enough off ball.
Trey needs to be a
Yes.
2.
What makes Curry elite is that he never stops. moving.
Which you need to
Yeah,
get him to
insane.
somebody that makes like if you could get Trey to a team where he's like, oh shit, I gotta like move. Trey would be better, but I think Trey has to be a 2.
How do you not figure that out though? Man?
By
If you
now,
wanna
for
take the
sure. He
next
got
step-
another super max. He got to the super max. He
I know
re-signed.
That's like-
LaMelo Ball doesn't figure it out
Well,
either.
I mean, Rudy
Is he the guy
Gobert
for the- is
can't
he-
develop a shot like down low. Like these guys,
Giannis can't fit a free throw.
a lot of these guys, they could be that next level player if they just took that next step. And you can see, everyone can point and see this is what you're missing, and then it never happens for them.
Is that where the number 2 pick goes is to the Bucks for Giannis Antetokounmpo?
I mean, that's a big rumor mill.
Dude,
Giannis
he's
is
still-
on the block.
Giannis and Wemby with De'Aaron Fox and Castle. Holy fuck me!
I mean, selfishly, I want him to go to the Warriors. We have a lot of trade pieces, but we don't have the best trade
I have
pieces.
nothing to give it. I will get into that in a little bit. I'm fucking. Okay, so do we have any more to talk about the lotto?
No, it is what it is. Cooper Flag's going to go number 1 overall.
I think he's going to be good, dude. I'm really rooting for that guy.
Me too. I like the kid. I like what he stands for. I like his demeanor on and off the court. He's intense
healthy,
when he's in between the lines.
That team could be really good.
Why not?
Win it all if he stays healthy.
He's gonna go put on a little bit more size. Like he's
going to be a 3, right?
I would think so.
Davis is 4.
I think that's what fits him the best.
That team would be fucking built.
He could potentially play a 4, but he should be a 3. Even if a 2, actually. He could play 2 to 4.
Think of that team, though. You could have, isn't it Gafford their starting center? Or is it Lively? You get one of those 2 at your starting center, then you Anthony Davis.
It's one of those 2, right?
You have Cooper Flag at your 3. You have who knows who at your 2, but then you have
Kyrie
at your 1.
Kyrie's a
nasty
bad man.
Kyrie's a bad man, but the only problem is and Anthony Davis is so elite at defense that covers up for Kyrie, and that's what we'll get in with the Lakers stuff.
Kyrie's not terrible at defense. He's
when he
definitely
wants to be.
Sure.
But then you get Coop in there, who's going to have energy, and Coop puts up a good fight on defense, and then you have Gafford.
I kind of feel that every superstar is a what if on the defense side.
I don't remember back in the day they used to not be.
They liked
Kobe
his
and Jordan had a ton of
he went all defensive like 9 times.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so our bracket is basically like in shambles.
Yeah. Dude, the whole NBA is kind of upside down right now. Throwback to the 90s in the East with the Pacers Knicks, dude. We got Spike Lee and Reggie Miller coming back for 2.0. Winning time is one of my favorite 30 for 30s ever.
I want to take a half cred for the Pacers, and I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't pick them over the Cavs. I kind of been watching this happen all year. I've kind of been talking about it.
You have been high on the Pacers. I will say I do understand that narrative.
And I've been talking about it, and I just couldn't pick them to beat the Cavs.
I didn't
realize that the Cavs were going to come in so hurt. But the 2-guard thing does not work.
Yeah, and the Pacers, I mean, we should have learned last season.
Dude, thank God for this.
They were good last season.
But
they're just like they get overlooked.
My point of the 2-guard system does not work. It works in the regular season.
It works when it works, but it doesn't when it doesn't.
It's hard to say with the injuries.
It's very hard to adjust off of that.
I think you got to trade Garland for like a 3 or you got to get a bigger dude. You need to go get a 3.
I think they're running it back though. I think they are because of the injuries.
I got a trade or I got a situation for that.
Okay,
lay it on us.
I hope. Let's go. Okay, hold on. Let me suggest my bracket fixture for our tie.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Okay, so just to throw it out there, Zach and Chuck are tied at this point, and I'm a game behind, but I have the Thunder left.
The only alive team.
Nope. So if they win out, I win. If they win
next series, they have to get to the finals and lose for Trev to win.
You got to get to the finals.
If they don't win the championship, then we tie, and if they lose before that, then I'm the loser.
Okay, so me and Chuck are no matter what tie because we have the Thunder in the same spots going forward.
Right, correct.
Okay, so Chuck, right now the bracket stands: Pacers versus Knicks.
Right,
and we'll get into the other series.
Minnesota versus question mark.
Right.
That game's tonight.
Who are you picking, Pacers versus Knicks?
Shit, man.
Because what I'm suggesting is do me and you do a Final Four bracket to separate. But if we're going to pick the same fucking teams, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
So if the Thunder and Nuggets win tonight and the T-Wolves win, like I know it's hard to say, well, if these, but are we going to pick the same teams? Because if we're not going to pick the same teams.
Denver, Minnesota, I would take Denver.
Okay. Thunder, Minnesota.
Well, Thunder, Minnesota? That does matter.
It matters to me because me and you are tied no matter what. So me and you have to have and you have to no matter what.
You just want to. Well, I mean, if you pick different East, that could be the separator. Because we still the West is still up in the air with what's left. Because we got to find out what happens.
So let's just pick. Who are you taking Pacers? And we'll figure if you
Knicks.
I'm going to take the Pacers, so we're going to
do a Final Four
bracket.
That could be the tiebreaker.
Okay, so we're doing a Final Four bracket for me and Chuck, and we'll figure that out once the thing goes. But if you're taking Knicks, I'm taking Pacers.
I would take the Knicks.
Then we'll figure out the West, and then we'll see if it doubles up.
Okay,
because it could double up, because then we could both go opposite ways in the West, and then it could tie again. So we'll have to see. So we'll figure out.
No, we'll literally just make it come down to the Eastern Conference Final. Let's just call it right now. If that's the one we differ on, we can just call it a series. Why we just need one more point to separate us.
Trev? Call it all the way through, or call it Final Four, or just one series?
I mean, at that point, I think I would possibly have to call a team 2, depending on where OKC ends their
Ooh,
run.
that's right. So I think we're going to have to all find, once the Final Four comes to bracket, I think we make a Final Four bracket, and then that's where we tie it. Because Trev does have if the Nuggets get there and lose to whoever wins the East, Trev still ties in the main bracket, then all three of us would have a tying bracket.
It's
That is
close.
very true.
So
That is
so
very
we, I
true.
think we all four need to, once the
Well,
West
no,
is
we have
decided.
to. No,
so
we,
who's
we
your
have-
Eastern team?
No, we have to see what the Thunder do. We have to see. No,
Right.
we don't get to make a bracket until we see what the Thunder do. He can still technically win. Technically, we do nothing.
But we could put that.
I think we still have to put the Final Four because it has to be on. It has to be before we get to the Thunder winning it all.
But
Me and you still are tied.
But he can still win. So in theory, we shouldn't touch anything.
No, because me and you are still
But we
tied
need
for
that
last place.
in case of
But
break
then,
glass.
but no, then
Correct.
we'll flip. Then we'll flip
Final
the
Four
coin.
bracket. Final Four
Wrong.
bracket.
We don't get to replay. We have to see how his bracket plays out.
But then how
we're
do you-
cutting him short. He has the ability to
Well,
win it
yes,
all.
that only comes into play if the Thunder get knocked out.
Well, we don't know what's about to happen.
Correct.
I don't want the Thunder to win, but I'm just saying we don't get to jump in here, bro. That's not how brackets work.
It's the tie, so there has to be a tiebreaker.
But the tie hasn't happened yet.
Me and you are tied no matter what for first or last. So me and you have to have
That's
a
not
tiebreaker.
true for first or for. Okay, that is true.
Correct.
That is
yes,
true.
we know. We had this conversation before this. Me and you are
First and
tied.
last, you're either
Or either
first or
tied or
last.
first or last.
You're either
Ricky
first or
Bobby.
last, brother.
Trevor is either last
Oh.
or tied, but he has to like a weird way to get tied.
I can get tied. I can get last.
Okay,
I get
okay, you
first.
can do a lot of
I'm-
shit.
So we have to. There
In
is
the
a real
wind.
chance. Me and you are tied no matter what, for either
Okay,
first or last.
all
So there
right,
has to
all
be a
right.
fight. So Travis is saying he might as well fill out his Final Four bracket too, just in case the Thunder get to the finals and lose to whoever the finals are.
Well, so then he's gonna
Not sleeping
predict
on
somebody in the East to beat the Thunder this time. Is what you're saying? You're giving him a redo as well? Is that we're just redoing from the Final Four onward?
No.
We're not redoing.
It's only a
Tiebreaker.
tiebreaker situation.
Yeah, tiebreaker situation.
It's not a redo. There's still
The brackets play out.
correct. The brackets
in-
are still played out, but me and you have to do a
If
tiebreaker.
it becomes
I
a
understand
tiebreaker
that.
situation,
Then
that's
Trev
what we
has to
go
have a shot to have
right
the-
now.
Yes.
Indiana.
Okay, so we're both on India. So we'll wait to see what happens in the West.
You guys are great. Oh, jeez.
I think Chuck, was Chuck
You're
lost in that
first or last?
conversation?
No,
Well,
I'm not. I'm
no,
not.
I get like he was feeling we were going to redo something.
No, we're not redoing.
We're not redoing.
No, it's
This
still the
is
same bet,
just
but if tiebreaker situations need to have these are the
arise.
tiebreaker
We're
things.
throwing it out there now
Because
that
me and
this
you
is who
already
we
have a
put
tiebreaker.
I
on.
understand that.
Yeah. I can't wait. This is exciting.
Well, we were bad, bro. The only reason why it's a tiebreaker is because nobody got nothing right.
Man,
Well, okay,
Like-
well, let's go through it, dude. The Cavs come into the Pacers series, right?
Right, and are much more banged up than the original media let on. And then
Completely
Spida
beat
misses, and then when he is there, he's not up to his normal
He,
self.
has 45 in one game.
He had
a
good
lot of
games.
shots, but a lot of shots because
Yeah.
Garland's not getting anything up.
Well, there was
and
no one to go to
Strus
because-
goes 0 points. Strus has 0 points. That's what I'm saying. Like, is he your starting three? Like, that guy's like not a starting three in the league.
And are we going to touch on what they need now that they're out?
I think they got to go for a three, and I think that here
need
it
a spot-up
goes.
shooter?
Here, nope. Please take LeBron James off my hands. He wants to go win another championship.
Of course.
He wants to go win another
I love
championship.
that guy. Send him back home.
Right? What are you doing at this point? Are you just looking for the money? You want
Send
the
his
ring?
kid too.
It's his player option year, right?
Correct.
This is how he does these things, right?
$50 million.
He should opt in. He should opt in.
If he opts in, here's my Laker take. You're going to be the exact same, probably a 6th seed, and you're probably going to lose in the first round
Okay.
because you need to go get a big.
Okay.
But that means you're trading Rui or Austin, if not
Yep.
both, for a better big,
Okay.
or you're trading one for a mid big. So you get the mid big,
Mid-big.
right?
Mid-big.
So
Mid-big.
whoever that is, right? So you get the guy, and you still have the same record, but you're still not great because LeBron is still taking $50 million to be okay. Okay, so LeBron played a lot. So if you could save him to the end of the season, he could play. He looked tired. So maybe if you
Yeah.
could save him, but you got the $50 million is a big hit when he when we need more defense, and if we have to trade Reeves or Rui, like if he opts out and goes somewhere else to go ring chase, I don't either. But my one other worry is he signs a 2-year again for $100 million. So then you're like so deep into him without having that availability to go give Miles Turner a bigger contract, because otherwise it's all these weird, because the NBA contracts, like Chuck said, and like the draft picks are so weird. You have to do the sign and trades, so the money shit works out, so you can do this and this with the money.
Contracts.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. So that's why if he didn't sign, then the Lakers have a chance to win. If he signs, we're going to be another 6 seed with some. We're going to have good games. We're going to have good. You're like, oh, right matchup. They might be able to win. But, it's, and you don't have that other 3. Rui is not a great defender. Maybe he can get better defensively. So, I don't know, man. I'm like still up in the air on the Lakers. I'm fucking pretty irritated about it.
The Warriors and Steph are in a similar boat. He's another guy I think that you want to reduce the playing time. He's still great. He still works extra hard. I love the effort. I love running 2 miles a game because of he understands like what it takes to take it to the next level. But
you guys don't have Jimmy's obviously older. It's shown in the last couple games.
It showed in this playoffs. He never was playoff Jimmy. He was good, but he wasn't.
He
that
needed
guy.
Steph to be there to be anywhere close to a playoff. Jimmy.
Yeah, and that's why we have to have another guy that
Well, let's get back to the Cavs.
Okay.
The 3, I think they need a 3. They need somebody else, whether they get rid of Garland and replace him with somebody. I think they need that longer other body of to be able to play with some of these teams. They don't have that great. They have Mobley defensively, and that's really it. Carter's a good off the bench.
I also think they just kind of statistically, they were hurt, and they also had just some of their worst games in a row at the worst time of the year. Correct. I don't think the team necessarily needs total reformulation, right? There's a lot of goodness going on in Cleveland right now. I don't disagree with you if you could fall onto a 3 or find a way to make that work. That's obviously they got good big man and they got great guard play. So right in between is you need that small forward.
If you could get rid of Garland for a good small forward, like a defensive small forward,
I don't know if there's anybody I'd get rid of Garland for though.
I'd have to really go through it.
DeAndre Hunter played pretty well.
Yeah, but he's a great bench. He's great coming off the bench. Take away from when Mobley and then when him and Mobley on the court together, fourth quarter. That's their fourth quarter lineup, But I really think they need that other that wing, the wing, because that's what we call it nowadays. It's not a 3, it's a wing.
It is. It's true. It's a winger.
I got a winger for you, a winger and a dinger. In the next series, Knicks beat the Celtics. Jason Tatum was
handily,
down.
and that's man.
The last game was
tough.
Not good.
Yeah, they got mushed.
First
half looked decent. And
Jason Tatum goes down, blown Achilles, basically. Dude, if I'm the Boston Celtics, why not just sit him for a whole year and make sure he comes back the following year after next year completely healthy, instead of having him worry about rushing back and trying to make a playoff run? Why not just completely shut him down for complete 2026, 27 or whatever it is, or 25, 26?
Now, if you do that, how do you handle the rest of the roster?
Well, now Brown has a meniscus tear.
Yep.
Partially meniscus tear.
I saw that he was playing through that. I read that.
I don't know the contract situations, but it really sounds like Drew Holiday could be on the outs. Derek White signed. I don't know where the Porzingis thing is, but he was so off and on all year, you never knew if he was playing.
Sure.
Drew looked really old towards the end of the year. But is that because he's playing max minutes, max games? Because he is getting up there.
I was going to say, he's also
getting up there.
Drew's an elder statesman in the NBA
both
these
of
days.
those players, I think, could be on the move.
I totally think, because what's his name played good off the bench, and then you have Derek White. Who's the kid that was Don Porzingis?
Porzingis, yeah, but you're thinking Pritchard. Pritchard, yeah.
A lot of people talk about, not moving off of him because you want that there when Tatum comes back, but I think this is an opportunity to restructure.
Correct.
I would swing that direction.
Maybe
more so.
you can have something even better.
Correct. Agreed. You're looking to dump Drew Holiday and looking to dump Porzingis.
You got to get younger. Else. You got to get younger now. Al Horford, even right? These are guys that have been great players.
You're not trying to run it back. You have no Tatum next year. You're not running it back. Take the hit.
You can be a good team, but not that good.
Maybe do the fucking
keeping Derek White is not a bad idea. We can't tank in the NBA.
Well, if you don't play all
if you've got to make a trade, but you have to trade Jaylen Brown. You have to trade Jaylen Brown in season to be the number 1 pick that year. It's the trade. got to be the big trade.
But
Luka.
But you could also trade.
Luka on the Lakers. How'd that go?
I think it's up and rising.
Better than the
It's
Seattle
up and
team.
rising. It's up and rising.
We got 0 wins.
It's up and rising, Chuck. It gives me a sense of root for. Here's
Up and rising.
and I don't think I've ever touched it. It gives me more of a root for, and I've never been a Luka guy. But
But he's a young superstar.
But
he's a young
because-
superstar, so you, in theory, should stay relevant.
But because I've never been a LeBron fan, and we won't completely touch it. We know some of my stuff on pod. I also don't love the way Anthony Davis came to the team. I don't love pushing your way out of places after you sign a deal. So that's like not like what I don't love that. I don't love that when players do it and go to other
the
teams.
Lakers were constructed.
Correct. I don't love
point.
that. I love the trade that you go get a dude out of crazy randomness on a fucking Saturday night, and I'm getting text messages on the way to Kiel, and Luka Doncic traded me. At that point, I'm all in because that's like legit shit. Your front office went out and knocked some shit out of the park. That was a fucking home run, right?
Insane, dude.
So
Insane.
now you're built for the next so many years. Now it's about getting it to him. Hopefully LeBron can get to him. Hopefully, I wish Kobe was alive. Kobe be in his ear. Come work out with me, young buck. That would be a total different thing. I thought about the other day. I was reading an article.
Fucking
I was reading an article about those two. Dude, if he was a dude, that'd be if Kobe was alive and Luka was a Laker, I'd be like, championships are coming forever.
Did you lean on Shaq or
You gotta
Gasol?
you just gotta lean on other dudes. Hopefully LeBron can get through his head this year, but you gotta lean on also your front management.
Well,
Magic's gotta be the dude.
I'm talking about that.
Magic's gotta be the guy.
Is the guy that
It's
gets
gotta
in
be
Luka's ear.
It's gotta be Magic. Shaq maybe can rumble down some talking. Maybe use his like in shape shit. Worthy's another fella coming out of the rafters to talk.
Although I would in LA, yes, towards his later years. LA early years, Shaq was prime
Dominant.
Shaq, like
Dominant.
thick boy, but not
No.
obese and like sluggish.
Yeah.
Could put
I
it
hear
on a
you.
motherfucker or two.
I hear you.
I know.
watch that
I'm just
shit.
saying, like,
But no, so that's where I'm. That's the state of the Lakers right now. We don't know the one series. You touched on the old. You got any more? What do you? I don't know, Trev. I think you guys are in about the same boat we are.
We getting there? Okay.
We're in the same. I think we're in the exact same boat. You need other players to. And Kuminga's an interesting thing for us. I thought about that the other day.
Yeah,
Kuminga's an interesting piece for us.
He's going to be a big trade piece. I from what I understand, we have 4 first-round picks that are tradable.
I'll trade you LeBron for Kuminga.
I don't want LeBron
I know,
either.
but I don't either.
God, we do.
him
I want to.
and Curry would play well together. I'm just saying.
It would be
that's the best kind of two-man for LeBron is a
It is.
Curry-style card for sure.
It
Somebody
is.
who can get open, somebody
And
who can deal the
Kuminga-
rock and score from anywhere.
And Kuminga
I
would fit
understand
right,
that.
And Kuminga would fit right in with Luka at our 3/4 open. We need another shooter, but that does make like the Kuminga thing does make sense for Lakers. LeBron does make sense. That is another team you'll ring
for the
cheap.
Warriors too. I just don't want it to happen. I'd rather chase Letter Bro. Give me a Giannis. I know that's
dude,
that's the big.
Come on.
Everyone's
That's-
going to take a swing for.
Yeah,
That's why I need
29 other teams are trying to get that guy.
That's why
The
I
Rockets and I think the Spurs probably have the most to offer.
so if the only thing we have would offer is if LeBron left and we could offer him the full contract that we have with LeBron, and that would be the only way we have it. But he would have to like.
But what else do you? I mean, you have pieces, but you don't have picks, and
We
I don't know
only
if
have
you
a
have
couple-
enough pieces.
yeah, we would-
and I don't know if I have enough.
I don't think so.
either from
Yeah,
the Warriors.
he would almost have to go to the Lakers to go somewhere else and not opt in for the last year of his deal.
Dude, I've always
I
loved
that'd
his
be
game
so,
though.
that'd
I'd
be
love
so,
to have that
him
on my
and,
team.
Him and Luka together would be so sick.
Him and Steph would be so sick. Fuck, bro.
Daydreamers.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Chuck. I can daydream all I want, brother.
Absolutely. There's no point in not thinking about the possibilities that could. It's not a 0% chance. Like
And if
It's pretty close.
if Giannis goes, I mean, you still have Dame under contract. He could be moving
He's
though
done,
if they're gonna.
dude.
Well, with his injury,
He's out like a full year too, right?
yeah.
so
Yeah, he popped his Achilles.
that team's gonna look way
came back for
different
one game.
possibly next season.
Dude,
It's
team
going, no, it's going to.
that team could be lotto pick
they have
number
like
1.
7 or 8 expiring contracts
I mean,
and an
there's-
injury.
I mean,
amongst
there's a
their
chance
superstar.
Lopez
They
is
can-
one of them because that's a rumored Laker center is Lopez.
Dude, they have
Lopez has been great
so
for
many
them.
expiring contracts. Like that team is going to be different because now you have the
East is
thresholds.
so weak.
Well, no, they have the curtains or whatever the fuck they call them that you can't go past, right? The thresholds
Yeah,
that
correct.
like the levels that like you can only pay to. What they're
Yeah.
the curtains, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they're called?
That's why.
I think there's a different name.
That's why the Pacers are in a weird
What is
spot.
it? What is it, guys?
No, you're right.
But I know.
You can't have three bigs.
Well, right. There's only so much maximum contract that you can
That's
pay,
why
and
the-
you can't go over a certain amount until.
That's why the Pacers, I think, are in a weird
Then
spot.
they cut off your trades. That's what happens
With Miles Turner and Siakam and Halliburton. You're in a weird spot at some point in there that you cannot going to be able to keep either Siakam or Turner at some point in time.
Yeah, that's
I
coming
would
up
say
soon.
you stay with Turner because Siakam is significantly further in his career. Not that Siakam hasn't been effective, but he's going more towards year 10, year 11, where Turner's
Turner's at 10.
Is Turner that
Turner's
old?
been in the NBA a while.
Am I?
He's
Damn.
dude. That's
Good
why,
for you, bro. I thought you
That's
were
why-
4 or 5 years.
That's
in,
why I'm
not
so
like 8
in
or
on
9
like
or some
if
shit.
you didn't have LeBron, you could go get Turner in free agency because you could match the offer. If you have LeBron, you can't match the offer. You have to do these weird sign trades, or you have to go get some second-rate fucking center. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Dump that fucking guy. Let's go. Fuck that. I want to start winning again.
Yeah, I just love to have a
Championships.
team, you know.
Championships. That's what I run. Purple gold championships, Chuck.
Okay, Jerry. You got one. Hey, man.
I saw 5, Charlie. I saw 5. I saw him lose 2, too. I saw him being 7.
The Kobe Bryant era was quite a good time in basketball, to be fair. When dynasties,
And that was good basketball,
when
too.
dynasties kind of carry, it's not terrible in the NBA. When the Warriors had their reign, the NBA wasn't in a bad condition. Like, and it's been kind of distraught,
The
kind of
fucking-
ever since.
the T-Wolves-
like, not that okay. Giannis getting his was a big deal,
I like
right?
that.
Like,
And the Suns had kind of a nice little run for a little bit.
right, but they didn't get it. They
No.
lost to Giannis. That's like
I just feel like the NBA right now with the – I think that the
because I don't mind the
all-
Celtics getting one, but that's not like a
But
thing.
I don't
for
love
me.
I don't love the basketball play as we're going. The NBA playoffs have been good this year with how physical it's been.
Let them play, coach.
But the-
They have been.
but the
Shout out
three-point-
to that take.
But
They've
the
been letting them play.
3-point shot is getting to the point to where we're shooting 60 a game. That is
40
fucking
to
outrageous.
50 is average. 60 is high end. But
That's
yes, it's not
ridiculous.
unconceivable. It is. No, it's stupid.
Like, let's get some more like dribble drives. Let's get some more like cutting. Let's get some more like, hey, stop
Okay.
mid shot,
Hey,
boom, little
hey,
fucking
hey.
8-footer.
If you're shooting at a 45% clip, let's go. Let them rip. If your game 17%, you can figure something else out. It depends. If you're making as many as you're shooting, then keep going, right? That's the analytics part of it. But like,
Well, I mean, that's what separates the stars, though. Those that when that shot isn't hitting, that can adapt and attack down
please,
low. And if you're not getting the
cut
points,
to
you're
the
drawing
lane.
the fouls.
Yeah, something.
That's how that game should
Fucking
be
something.
played.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. So does that fall more on the players or coaches when that happens?
Well, it's a little bit of both because you get you have 2 teams right now. The Timberwolves and the Celtics are fucking just shooting the fucking shit out of the 3-point ball. Both teams shoot at an
Historic
aggressive
rate.
and
Celtics were number 1 this season overall.
that is way too much.
They had 3 dudes with over 100 threes
That's
made.
too,
That's almost inconceivable.
and
I mean, it
but
happened,
if you're shooting
like, good.
30%, if you have that many, how many have you missed?
Yeah, no, for sure.
How in one
The-
more
well,
drive,
the-
getting into like that 15-footer, that 8-footer.
The mid-range game is dead. No, don't even. We can't even go down
SGA,
that road.
SGA is
Lost
sick
art.
at the mid-range, and
And-
Kevin Durant's sick, and that's about it.
Yep.
And dude.
It used to be DeMar DeRozan's game. He's kind of aged out of it. Dame used to have a sick mid-range game. Now he's straight deep. Like, there are guys who can retool that, but it's not what it.
But that percentage is so much higher too.
Porter should be one for the Nuggets, man.
You would
He
think
doesn't-
so? Michael
dude,
Porter Jr.
he
Yeah.
should
That
be. He doesn't
motherfucker
take those
is
shots.
so infuriated watching.
I
basketball.
agree. I agree.
The
He
Nuggets,
should be dribble driving every
when
time.
the Nuggets lose
every time.
When the Nuggets probably end up losing the series tonight, Porter's got to be one of the guys that's got to go to start retooling that team. He has got to go. Aaron Gordon,
you're pulling against the Joker.
Aaron Gordon and Joker. I love Joker, but when they do lose tonight, Aaron Gordon.
Come on, joke.
Aaron
Come
Gordon
on, brother.
and Joker are probably.
We need ourselves a dub.
I would even think about moving Murray too. I think Aaron Gordon and Joker are the only two non-movable pieces on that team.
I could see Murray not necessarily being 100% safe, but he's like 85% safe, right? Like he's not like a super big name.
But if you get something else, I'm like, I can get this 3.
No, who would that?
If I get Jaylen Brown, I'd take Jaylen Brown over
Jamal
Murray.
Oh, yeah.
At full health, yeah.
Jaylen Brown's more available. Jaylen Brown's a killer. You just get him with Joker, and then you get a point guard that's a point guard.
Well, you're not going to make that argument because the Nuggets are going to win tonight. Let's go.
Okay, see you in the house. Thunder. Chucky's going to wear a Thunder hat. Chucky's going to wear a Thunder hat. I still technically
have a buffer. If they win tonight, it's not the worst thing for my bracket necessarily.
No, I'm the one in limbo.
Because then Trev might have to wear it. So you are,
yeah. So don't be talking
I could
no
be first
shit
too.
to me.
I could be first too. I'll just have Trev wear something easy though. Maybe wear a Knights hat or something.
Fuck that.
Try to get him to the team. Try to bring him onto the squad.
No, because I'm gonna win and he's gonna wear a Seahawks hat.
I'm recruiting.
That's how that's gonna work.
I'm recruiting Trev to the Knights.
I'm putting it on wax.
Time to win it all.
Oh! And then it comes down to me and Charlie.
Hilarious.
That's my only
in our
chance
final
at this
4
point,
pick.
man.
Check us out at Instagram and X.
Buzzsprout, Spotify, the YouTubes.
Next pod, we maybe have a guest. We're going to have guests soon.
First guest coming up.
But we are going to have our final 4 pick so that we do know the tiebreaker between me and Chuck.
Because that hat matters. Clearly, that hat matters.
That hat.
We'll see you for Pod 97.